Otherwise, balanced, unbiased.
We are live from Benin City to the world. This is 92.7 KUFM News Dawn.
It's 6:30 a.m. Good morning and welcome to News Dawn on KU 92.7 FM Benin City. First, the headlines. Governor Obaseki hands over new High Court complex to judiciary. Federal Executive Council approves establishment of 20 new private universities. DSS warns against alleged plans to cause ethnic religious violence. On business, SEC sets new rule for collective investment schemes. And in sports, Kelechi Iheanacho scores as Leicester City strengthen top 4 position. Details of these and more after this break. I am Godslove Orlando. And now on the news. Edo State Governor Godwin Obaseki on Wednesday handed over for use the newly constructed state-of-the-art High Court. The keys of the 12th courtroom complex were handed over to the Chief Judge of the State, Justice Esther Edige, pending the official commissioning by the Chief Justice of Federation later this year. Governor Obaseki at the ceremony reiterated the premium his administration places on the judiciary, which has inspired the recent reforms being undertaken. He said plans are being hatched to replicate the architectural innovations at the magistracy level to improve the overall physical environment of the court.
This is just a handover ceremony, but it's also an opportunity to just unveil our thoughts for what we're doing. In our thinking, you first have to build infrastructure and then ensure that you then standardize or also upgrade what you put inside. So this is just the first in a series of infrastructural improvements which we are committed to working with the judiciary to undertake in Edo State. Subject to the outcomes of sessions I'm hoping that we'll have with the judiciaries to have a clear understanding of what you envisage and see the judiciary in Edo State to be over the next decade.
The governor also revealed plans to collaborate with the state judiciary on the establishment of a revenue court to boost internally generated revenue in the state. In her welcome address, the Chief Judge of Edo State, Honorable Justice Edige, commended the governor for improving the infrastructure of the court, especially for connecting the entire Edo State High Court complex to the Osiomo Independent Power Plant grid for uninterrupted power supply. The International Organizations for Migration, IOM, has presented millions of naira worth of training equipment to 3 technical and vocational training institutes in Benin City. The presentation was made to 3 certified skills training institutes in Benin City, namely Amena Academy, Genius Hub, and Edo Innovation Hub, to enhance their training capacities. Some of the equipment handed over to Genius Hub are 5 industrial sewing machines, 2 stoning machines, 12 mannequins, and 1 industrial button machine. Others are 2 lecture chairs, 2 cake mixers, 2 electric blenders, and 2 50 kg gas cylinder, and 1 industrial burner, which were donated to Amena Academy, while air conditioner, 8 workstations, and other office equipment were given to Edo Innovation Hub. The IOM Project Officer, Migration Management and Assisted Voluntary Return and Reintegration, Witana Tarakeng, said a similar gesture will be extended to Delta States.
So we are providing this support to 3 technical vocational and training centers in Edo State. We are providing this material support to 3 technical vocational education and training centers in Edo State. The first one is Amena Academy, Genius Hub, and Edo Innovation Hub. In addition to that, we are also providing this material support for 2 TVET centers in Delta State.
The CEO of Amena Academy, Efosa Ebobame, and CEO of Genius Hub, White Isime, acknowledged the donation.
Honestly, we are elated. It is a further show of confidence the international community has in our organization and what we do. This is the way to go, skills development. We are extremely delighted and happy, not just for the donation but for the recognition. It shows that we're actually doing something right, and it gives us the reason to even do more.
So this equipment coming right now really going a long way, because the challenges they face as return migrants is that they need some form of mentorship. They need direct one-on-one mentorship, which is what we provide at Junior Sub. So this equipment now, we help thousands of returnees in Nigeria. So we are very excited, and we are going to really use them and protect them very well, so that more youths apart from returnees can benefit.
The centers will be serving as referral centers for the training of returned migrants and vulnerable youngsters. And now elsewhere, the Federal Executive Council has approved a memo from the Ministry of Education for the establishment of 20 new private universities across the country. The 20 new private universities are to be given provisional licenses to run for 3 years while the ministry monitors and evaluates their growth. This brings the total number of private universities in the country to 99. The news continues right after this short break. Please stay with us. This is an announcement. With love and fond memory, we, your children, remember you today. Our dearly beloved daddy, late Chief Daniel Aivepe Enabulele. Your demise on the 4th of February 1996 will remain forever indelible in our hearts because it was one death too many. You are a devout community leader, a mentor to many, a politician par excellence, and above all, a doting father. Your footprints and adventures are still evident in every nooks and crannies in Ovia Southwest local government area. This will never be erased from the sands of time. Today, as we congregate at your gravesite in Igobazua to commemorate the 25th year of your passing, we will internally be thankful to God for giving us a father like you. Rest on, Daddy, till we'll encounter to part no more. Signed, Kendi Enabulele. And now back to the news. A committee which is made up of leaders of the People's Democratic Party in Edo North Senatorial District of Edo State, whose functions will be mostly advisory, has been inaugurated in Benin City. The interim chairmanship position was bestowed on former Edo State Deputy Governor and Chief of Staff to former President Goodluck Jonathan, Chief Mike Ogiadome. While inaugurating a 30-man advisory committee with Barrister Johnson Agbulagba as secretary, Ogiadome charged the members to serve selflessly in the interests of the party. He further stated that their responsibility was purely advisory and formulation of ideas that will not in any way be in conflict with any organs of the party. The inauguration attracted leaders of the ruling party from across the 6 local government areas of Edo North Senatorial District. Other members of the council include former Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Honorable Kenneth Asekome, a former APC chieftain, Senator Yisa Barima, Honorable Henry Duke Tenebe, and Honorable Sonny Okomaya, Vice Chair. The council later set up a 7-man committee to work out modalities for the setting up of similar bodies at the local government and ward levels. The service had on January 11th issued an alert of alleged plans by some elements working with external forces to incite religious violence across the country. AFNAIA said some persons in collaboration with external forces intended to incite religious violence in states as Sokoto, Kano, Kaduna, Plateau, Rivers, Oyo, and Lagos, as well as those in the southeast. The Secret Service warned these elements to desist from their planned wicked act or face the full wrath of the law. Coming up in a moment on our business news, SEC sets new rule for collective investment schemes. Details in a moment.
1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 600 billion, and the last kobo. Oh yes, we follow the money. It's all about the business and the business of business. The gains and the losses. The bulls and bears. The rise and falls. The risk and the satisfaction of seeing the last kobo rise to millions. On KUFM's Business News, the simple and complex jargons of business just make sense. Get the trending news on the morning market, forecast, investment opportunities, policy changes, and other breakout information on the ever-busy world of business. KU Business News, Monday to Friday on our news dawn, 6:30 to 7 a.m.
The Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, has directed that all units and securities of a collective investment scheme shall be registered by the Commission. The new directive is part of General Rule for Collective Investment Schemes, CRS, released by the Commission on Wednesday. The rule also states that all units and securities subject to registration by the Commission may be offered through offer for subscription, offer for sale, and units and securities of a collective investment scheme may be registered by way of a shelf registration. SEC explains that shelf registration is a filing undertaken by issuers intending to access the market in the near future. And finally, on business news, Nigerian stocks ended Wednesday's trading session on a slightly bearish note. The all-share index, ASI, dropped by negative 0.10% to close at 42,000.01 index points, as against 0.74% plunge recorded on Tuesday. Nigerian Stock Exchange market value currently stands at 21.97 trillion naira. Its year-to-date returns currently stand at plus 4.29%. Investors lose 22.9 billion naira on the third trading session of the week. Nigerian Bourse also trading turnover ended negative as volume dipped by 9.21% as against minus 5.25% plunge recorded on Tuesday. UBN, Guarantee and FCMB were the most active to boost market turnover. The market breadth closed negative as NCR led 18 gainers as against 26 losers, topped by Lincolnshire at the end of the session. And that's it on business. And now in sport, where Lingard scores twice on West Ham debut. Details of this and more after this short break. And now talking sports, where Super Eagles striker Kelechi Iheanacho was on target as Leicester City strengthened their position in the Premier League's top four with a 2-0 win over Fulham at Craven Cottage on Wednesday night. James Maddison played a key role in both the visitors' goals, delivering a delightful in-swinging cross for Kelechi to head home before setting up James Johnston to double the Foxes' lead on the stroke of half-time. The result leaves Leicester City 2 points behind second-placed Manchester United with 42 points, while Fulham remains 7 points adrift of safety in 18th. Elsewhere, Manchester City beat Burnley 2-0 to maintain top spot, while Brighton and Hove Albion stunned champions Liverpool 1-0 at Anfield. Everton defeated Leeds United 2-1 and West Ham United beat Aston Villa 3-1 with Jesse Lingard scoring a brace on his debut for the Hammers. And finally in sport news, defending champions Morocco defeated host Cameroon 4-0 in African Nations Championship semi-final in Limbe on Wednesday evening. Soufiane Rahimi scored twice after Botini Soufiane had opened the scoring in the 28th minute to ensure an emphatic win for Morocco, who remained on course to defend their title. Mohamed Ali added the fourth goal 8 minutes before regulation time to set up a thrilling final with Mali. Earlier on Wednesday, Mamadou Koulibaly converted the decisive spot kick to send the Malians through to the final in Yaoundé with a 5-4 penalty shootout win over neighbours Guinea after a goalless draw in Douala. The tournament for national teams made up of home-based players has also been a test for Cameroon before the hosts' next January's Africa Cup of Nations final, which had been postponed by a year because of the COVID-19 pandemic. And that's it in sport news.